Hi, I am excited to share with you on this week's blog what I want you to do relative to describing to your family and your loved ones your perfect last day on the planet. So today is all about advanced care planning, talking about the scenarios that you would want. If this happens, do this. If that happens, do that. All that advanced care planning that's done in advance of the crisis, ideally. And a lot of people really struggle with how do we start this conversation. I don't like talking about these things. My grandmother refuses to talk to me about these things. Well, we got to figure out a solution around that because it's important to talk about these things. So I want to recommend a method that I really encourage people to use, and it seems to work beautifully. And that is to describe your perfect last day on the planet. Now, this is pie in the sky. It could be anything. My perfect last day on the planet involves going to the Oscars because I'm extremely starstruck. After I go to the Oscars and I get back home, I'd love to have a really wonderful bottle of champagne. I would love to have a lobster and filet mignon meal, twice stuffed potato. And then as time goes on, I really want my cat on the bed. I want Louis Armstrong playing It's a Wonderful World in the background because that's my favorite song, and it's okay with me if you just put it on repeat and it just plays and plays. I would love somebody to make a cobbler of some fashion in the kitchen so I can smell it. I've got a list of people I want to be sure are there, and I actually have another list of a few people I want to be sure are not there. I'm just saying. And I want somebody holding my hand. I don't care if they have to do round-the-clock shifts. I want somebody holding my hand. That's what I want. That's my perfect last day on the planet. So if you gather your family together, spaghetti dinner, beverage of choice, whatever the case may be, and you describe your perfect last day, you're going to tell them things that are important to you that they would not have known otherwise. I can assure you of that. I was having this conversation with several seniors probably 10 years ago. And this one little woman was sitting in one of those motorized wheelchairs. And all of a sudden, tears started streaming down her cheeks. And I said, what? Why are you upset? What? Talk to me. And she said, I want my bird on my shoulder. And I said, well, does your family know you want your bird on your shoulder? And she shook her head no. And I said, well, you promise me that you will go home today and tell your family you want your bird on your shoulder. So I'm telling you, if you share this conversation, and again, it can be anything, as crazy as you want it to be, your perfect last day, they will learn some things about you that they didn't otherwise know. After you have that sort of fun conversation, then I want you to say something like, okay, well, if the Mack truck were to hit, and I can't speak for myself any longer, here's what I want. Always do this. Don't ever do that. And if this is going on, do this. And if that's going on, do that. And you can't describe every scenario. That's impossible. But you can certainly give them enough of a feel of your values and your wishes. So should that day come that you cannot speak for yourself, they have a real peace and comfort around making your healthcare decisions for you because everybody heard what you said. And then after you do that with your family, describing your healthcare wishes, again, ideally long in advance of the crisis or the unexpected, then I want you to look at your loved one and say, okay, babe, I need you to tell me what you want because I don't know. We haven't talked about it. And then maybe everybody takes a turn and shares some of the things that they would want, whether it's perfect last day or a little more serious conversation about, I always want this, don't ever do that. And, we're all different. Just because the wife wants to be a DNR, which is a do not resuscitate, that doesn't mean the husband's going to want that. Just because a sibling may want curative treatment till they take their last breath, which is great. Everybody gets to make those decisions for themselves. That doesn't mean another sibling would want to go down that path. And there could be all kinds of different scenarios in between do nothing or do everything. So it's really just important to not be afraid to have the conversation, and one way to kind of get that jump started is to have this fun, pie in the sky, perfect last day on the planet conversation. I have a friend who smokes. I wish she would quit, but she smokes. And she wants to be in a beautiful red evening gown, and she wants to have one of those long extended cigarette holders that the movie stars used to have. That's part of her perfect last day. So anyway, I hope this was helpful, and I hope you really will think about having this kind of conversation with your loved ones, because even in your description of your perfect last day, you will share important things with them that they need to know that maybe they don't already know. So I hope you'll take my advice. I hope you're having a great week, and I look forward to sharing another tip with you next week. So have a good day.